Going into this game versus NC State, I was kind of nervous, not gonna lie. This was the biggest stadium I was ever gonna play in my high school or college career right now. And to hear the crowd screaming and yelling for the NC State as they ran out onto the field, knowing that all of these people was gonna be rooting for me to struggle, it was nerve-wracking, yet I was ready for the battle. There was number 10 in the nation, and what better statement could I make than to knock off a top 10 team after the win, partly struggle that we had. The rain didn't help, but we knew we had a job to do, and we started off by trying to get the run game going. And we got a solid 2 yards there, but we knew it was going to be a battle all game, and the fans were just going after us, screaming all up in our ears, and we quickly found ourselves with a 3rd and 8. They couldn't hear me as I tried to make hot routes, and I kept trying to just out yell the crowd, but unfortunately on this throw it fell short and honestly was picked off. And just like that, on the first drive of the game, we had an interception and we were down 3. But I kept fighting, and I'm going to keep fighting, finding the underneath routes to get anything. But once again, another 3 and out, and it was 4th and 4. And next thing I knew, we were on our own 3-yard line with them trying to bear down on me, but I was able to slip out and break off a big gun run that I needed to do and get all the way up to the 29. I was hoping this was going to set us off and get us going, as the crowd was low-key shocked that wasn't a safety. And I ended up finding my man underneath for almost another first down, getting 9. But then we were 3rd and 9 at their 44, the first time in their territory. I ended up getting hit as I thrown, and it was a 4th down waiting for me to end the first quarter. As the second quarter winded down and we were down 6, we knew he was in it. We just had to figure something out. And as Crosby ran hard for a first down, I just knew I just had to keep fighting, but they were pinning their ears back. And after a sack to make it 2nd and 19, I took off again because I wasn't scared of them. But we set up with a 3rd and 12, and I was just looking and nothing seemed open. I tried to fit it in there, but it got knocked down, and just offensive stop after offensive stop. We just couldn't figure out what to do. And as we were in the final 20 seconds and down 13, I ended up finding a man deep downfield for a big gain to their 21. And I was hyped. I was feeling like finally got something going. But in the final 5 seconds, I think my hero ball got the best of me as I rolled out and tried to find anyone. But even though it was picked off and they declined it, I ended up passing the line of scrimmage anyway, so it wouldn't have counted either way. And just like that, we were going to the locker room, dirty, wet, and I felt like we couldn't figure anything out against them boys. Down 13-0, and despite plays here and there and feeling like we was slowly getting momentum from them, we just were out of our league this game, this half. And I didn't see how we could pull something off in the second half to pull off this upset. But as the boys were feeling dejected, I got up and told them, hey, let's keep fighting, keep figuring something out. We got within their 30-yard line, so we can figure out a way to get into the end zone and make this a game. All we needed was one play, one opportunity, and we was going to get the job done. But coming out in the second half, the fans were just as loud, and we were in a 3rd and 6 again. And I kept trying to find somebody, but it was blanket coverage and got sacked again to make it 4th and 12. And it's looked along the sidelines as the quarter was ending, and it was 3rd downs after 3rd downs again. It was just dejection all over, because every 3rd down just turned into 4th. And NC State was slowly pulling away. Down 23-0, sacked again. And it was only 3 sacks. It felt like 6, because I kept taking off because they kept giving me the lanes, and I couldn't make anybody miss because I'm not that athletic yet. But We finally felt like we was doing something, and I had to do it with my legs, but they knew the moment I moved up in the pocket, they was coming. And then they put a spy on me, and then I don't know who Devin Van was, but that man hawked me down. And he kept hawking me down for 2 sacks in a row, and we ended up losing 23-0. I felt dejected. If this was top talent, I was nowhere near ready. We weren't ready. But we knew we had Tulsa next week, and we had to figure it out. Because if we play like we did today, we're going to catch a whole nother L, and a lot more people are going to start talking about whether or not we were ready. I decided to stay off my phone this week. The last couple days have been people talking about our wonderful performance against NC State, and I decided to focus on class and practice. I never wanted to feel like how I felt at the end of that NC State game. And as I was working on my pocket presence this week, I knew we had to come out and ball against Tulsa this week. Everybody was questioning if we could even compete in the Conference USA, let alone win it. And as we walked out at home in the throwback unis with Tulsa on the other side waiting for us, I could tell the whole team was kind of on edge. We knew we had a lot to prove, and to finally calm the worry of the fans and the loud noise of the naysayers and critics, not only did we have to win, we had to dominantly beat Tulsa just to show people that we were for real. Starting out the gate, we knew we had to get it going early. But once again, we struggled to start it off. I got hit on my first drop back, and I was so nervous now. Even when I had to make decisions, I would hesitate and not get as many yards as I could. Eventually, I just had to make the decision. Through any means, I got to get us going. And here, I was able to get a nice run to get us into their territory. And my man Crosby, he was doing everything he could as well, bouncing off of blockers and bouncing off of tackles. But soon we were at 3rd and 3, and my boy Crosby came through again, getting us right inside the 20 down to their 15. And I knew we were just sniffing the end zone. But another 3rd and 3, I tried to get it inside, and I didn't see the defender come up. And next thing I knew, I was chasing him with gaining no ground as he took it all the way back for a pick 6. And just like that, we were down 7-0 at home, and the crowd was already shunned silent. I knew we had to bounce back. And as I dropped back, I just kept looking, but nothing was getting open. And I sacked again, and then sacked again, and next thing I knew, it was a 3rd and 23, and I had to make something happen, some way, shape, or form. And as I rolled out, I just kept looking, decided to hit my tight end right there, and was able to get the first down. Honestly, my first pass of the day, I believe. But after one, that pick 6 was the only thing standing out. And to not only had 38 yards passing after 1 quarter, I knew I had to do better. I had to do something. After dropping back on 3rd and 5, thought I had A, but I ended up going down to the check down drag, was incomplete, and 3 and out, 4th and 5. But luckily, a defense held, and we had good field position at their 34 to start. And all I had to do was just make the smart passes, make the smart reads, and eventually we'll get in the end zone. As I dropped back here and tried to take off, I ran right into the defender. And now we're looking at a 3rd and 12. And as I scanned, I tried to check down again, and it was incomplete, 4th and 12. And right now we're going through a half, and this game looking a lot like how NC State was. And now we're down 2 scores, and I'm getting sacked again. And all I had to do was hit the drags, just hit anything to get something going. And my man, the coldest, broke through all those tackles to get us right to the 49. And now we're in our 2-minute drill, just looking for anything to get going. And I dropped back to pass, looking. I saw him step down, but I decided to take off myself. If we were going to get anything, I had to be the spark plug. And at 2nd and 2 on our 22, I found my man again on the drag, and he got us inside the 15 to the 14. And with a minute 14 to go, dropping back, I decided to dot him up again, and he almost got in, but it was first and goal at the 2. I decided to speed it up, try to catch him off guard. Made a quick adjustment, and as I dropped back, I saw the lane wide open and decided to strut it in for our first score to bring us right down to 1 score before the half. It felt good to finally get into the end zone, and hopefully this was the spark we needed to get the fans going late in this first half. Coming out the gate down 28-7 was not how we expected it, and this Tulsa D-line was pinning their ears back knowing they had a lead to work with. And next thing I knew, we were looking at a 3rd and 7 to start off the half. And no matter what happened, we just couldn't get our offense going. It felt like every pass was falling to the ground, and every time we looked up, it was 4th down. And next thing I know, we're ending the 3rd quarter, and I had to take off again to make something happen to get another 1st down. But just like that, it was 3rd and 11 again. As much as I tried to get the screen off, that D-line was screaming, and the fans just didn't know what to believe. Back-to-back weeks of the offense struggling, barely getting yards like this big run here. It seemed like our offense was just barely getting going. And no matter how much we put together, no matter how many big plays we tried to pull out, we just could not move forward. And me, even when I saw open routes, I was too scared to throw them and just took off again and took a big hit at the 20. But I would rather get it done on my legs than try to get it done through the air. But 3rd and 1 to end the 3rd, we got a nice little jet touch pass to make it 1st and goal. But that hill was so big to climb going into the 4th. Down 3 scores, and even though I had 163 yards passing, it just felt like nothing was working. I was finally able to get a pass for a touchdown to make up for the interception all the way in the 1st. But man, I knew when running off that field, we still had a lot of work to do. 5 minutes, down 2 scores, and the defense had to make stops, and honestly, our offense had to wake up too. I didn't know if I could get it done, but me and my boys, we were going to keep fighting. But then it was 35-14 with 4 minutes to go, and they was letting me run because they knew the more I ran, the more time came off the clock. And even though I ate a bunch of yards, even making a man miss to get into their territory, it was exactly what they wanted. Because as long as their offense scored and we didn't hit one big hitter after another, it was going to be their win. I was able to find the tight end for my 2nd touchdown of the game to make it 35-21. But honestly, I just knew that was stat padding. 3 minutes to go, down 14. Could we really pull this off? Could we really get back in this game and possibly win it? I didn't know, but I was going to keep slinging the rock. The next thing I knew was less than a minute, 38-21, and I missed the pass to get us another 1st down. This time on 4th and 15 and nothing to lose, coach decided we should go for it, send everybody down the field. I made a few adjustments to try to get somebody open. But as I dropped back and looked and nobody was open, I ended up getting sacked, turnover, and for Tulsa it was sack number 7. 7 in one game. And as that clock hit 0, we had another loss, back-to-back losses. And I didn't know what we were going to do going ahead in the season. We had a lot of work to do, and we had to fix a lot of things before conference play started. This might be a super long season.